All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to read your body composition. So you may hear us refer to this as SECA. That's the name of our body composition machine, but this is truly what composes your body. Okay, a lot of people like to focus on just the number that is weight, right? If we look at this 159, it's all a matter of what it's composed of. Okay. Now, this first measurement, BMI, I'm sure you're familiar with this. This is not a measurement that we are going to focus on. Okay, BMI is just math in the human body, but what it fails to do is account for things like your muscle mass, water weight, the distribution of your weight. So don't get too hung up on this number right here. Okay. Fat mass. So this is the total amount of fat that is in your body. And again, please remember that these are just baselines. Okay, I don't want you to get worried about these. These are just baselines. And as you focus on the fundamental systems in your body, we're going to focus on hormones, detoxification, we're going to focus on gut health. These things are all going to improve. Okay, but fat mass, we have to remember that fat is not the bad guy. Okay, we'll see a different measurement later on that shows visceral adipose tissue, which is a little bit more of the dangerous fat. But this one right here, we want to make sure it's not too low. Too high for a sustained amount of time can be dangerous too, but again, this is just a baseline, okay? In the body composition, we don't take vitals, which are going to be the next page or so here. So the next thing we're actually going to look at here is fat-free mass. Okay, and this is everything in your body that is not composed of fat. Okay, so muscle, water, bone, things like that. Okay, so the higher the fat-free mass, the better. Again, looking at your baseline, things will improve as you go through this program, but that's what fat-free mass is. Okay, this is an awesome measurement here. The really cool thing about the SECA is it tells us what types of muscle you have and where, right? So looking at whole body, this is how much muscle you have total, but also where it's distributed. So you may have a lot more muscle in your torso or in your right or your left arm, depending on which hand dominant you are. Same thing with, legs versus arms. You may have a lot more leg muscle than you do arm muscle. So again, this is just a baseline to look at, do we need to work on and focus on certain body parts in regards to building muscle. All right, you're going to see two of these charts throughout the SECA report. These are not charts that we're going to focus on, okay? These are comparing you to a national database, trying to get you to the target right here. But again, it's a very vague recommendation. Please don't focus on this. We're not going to use this as a part of your treatment process, okay? Next, we're looking at water composition. So this is another really cool one. We're looking at total body water here. And this next line, extracellular water, this is the water that's outside of your cells. So this could be inflammation, this could be bloating. Okay, so this one we like to see right in the middle. We don't want to see it too low, definitely not too high. The one after this measurement here, this extracellular to total body ratio is actually looking at something called intracellular water. So what's inside your cells. So the higher this measurement, the better. The more hydrated and healthy your cells are. So this person in particular was a little bit dehydrated during this measurement. This is the second chart that I was referring to. Again, it's trying to get you to this little bullseye right here. Don't focus too hard on it. If you're dehydrated, just drink more water. You and your coach will talk about ways to focus on hydration that's specific to you. All right, this measurement right here, so visceral adipose tissue and waist circumference. Okay, so we're looking at visceral adipose tissue is your deep belly fat that surrounds things like your liver, your intestines. So we don't want to see this too high. Again, if yours is high, don't worry. We're going to see that come down as you make total body changes. But this is the number that we want to work on if yours is in this high range, okay? Waist circumference, again, don't focus too much on this. This is what they use to calculate a lot of the math in the human body that we don't always like. But if your waist circumference is in this quote unquote red zone, again, it's not taking into consideration your hips and a lot of your proportions. So we're going to watch this. If it's very, very high, then yeah, we'd like it to go down, but I don't want you to get too hung up on this, red zone, so to speak. It's just a baseline. All right, phase angle. So this is a little bit more of a sciencey measurement. It's a really cool marker that we look at. So phase angle, when you're stepping on the SECA machine, it's sending a tiny little electrical signal through your body. Okay, and a healthy, plump cell that's full of life and water, nice and healthy, the electrical signal should go right through it, creating a large phase angle. Okay, so the larger the phase angle, the healthier the cell. If the cell is broken down and kind of decrepit and unhealthy, that electrical signal is going to bounce right off of it and create a small phase angle. Okay, so this person has a wonderful phase angle. Men and women differ in their phase angle. If you're above 5.2 for a female, typically that's a pretty healthy cell. If you're above 6 for a male, that's a very healthy cell as well. So again, this is a baseline, and as your body gets overall more healthy, you should see this phase angle go up. All right, energy expenditure. So this is based off what you picked. So if your activity level is 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, it's going to give you these energy expenditure goals. We don't want you to focus on these as much. Okay, we'll talk about caloric intake and macro goals that are specific to you, but we find that the SECA shoots a little bit high for caloric intake. So if you look at your caloric goals on this page and are a little shocked by how high they are, don't worry about it. We'll talk about this in your follow-up coaching appointments to make sure that they're really tailored to you. Okay. And then besides that, that's the end of the measurements that we take in the SECA. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us, reach out to your coach, and we'd be happy to answer more specifics.